Welcome to The Explainer, where we transform complex topics into clear, engaging explainers. So, have you ever wondered if the world's center of power is quietly shifting? Well, today we're unpacking a story that suggests it just might be. We're talking about a tectonic shift, really, as the United Nations makes a historic move to Nairobi, Kenya. And this isn't just about some new office buildings. No, this is about redefining how global development actually works, and it's going to have a massive impact on the ground.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll cover the big announcement itself. Then, we're going to dig into the strategy, why Nairobi of all places. After that, we'll look at the incredible economic ripple effect, but also tackle the tough questions about growth and its challenges. And we'll wrap it all up with what this major shift could mean for you.
Okay, let's get right into it. The big headline here is that in early 2025, the Kenyan government dropped a bombshell announcement. The UN is setting up 3 brand new global headquarters in Nairobi. And this isn't some far-off plan. It's all supposed to be done by the end of 2026. And let me be super clear here. These are not just some satellite offices or regional outposts. We are talking about the entire global headquarters for some of the biggest names in the game. UNICEF, the Children's Fund, UNFPA, the Population Fund, and UN Women. These are major players, and they're all packing their bags for Nairobi. Now, to really get why this is such a huge deal, you have to look at the history. The UN's been in Nairobi for a while, sure, but adding 3 new global headquarters, that catapults the city into a very, very exclusive club. It's going to be only the 4th major UN capital in the entire world, putting it right up there with New York, Geneva, and Vienna. So you're probably asking the big question, why? Why move away from those traditional hubs like New York? Well, this wasn't just a random decision. It's actually part of a much, much bigger strategic play by the UN. It all comes down to this big idea called the UN at 80 Reform Initiative. And the main goal here is pretty simple. Modernize the organization, and this is the crucial part, decentralize it. The idea is to move operations closer to the people they're actually trying to serve around the world. So you can think of it like this. They're ditching the old, centralized way of doing things, where all the decisions are made in expensive cities far away. Instead, they're moving to what they call a glocal model. It's about being global and local at the same time. By putting these agencies right in the heart of East Africa, the UN can be way more agile and make sure its work is actually informed by what's happening on the ground. So what made Nairobi the perfect choice? Well, first off, you got to look at the money. It's estimated to be up to 25% cheaper to operate there than in New York or Geneva. But it's about so much more than just cost. Nairobi is already a major hub for diplomacy, finance, and transport in the region. Plus, it has a big, established UN campus in the Gigiri area that's ready to grow. Okay, let's talk about the impact. Because bringing in anywhere from 800 to 2,000 new UN employees, and remember, that's not even counting their families, well, that's not just a drop in the bucket. It's a tidal wave that's already sending massive economic ripples across the city. And get this, to put it all in perspective, even before this massive expansion was announced, the UN's existing offices were already pumping an estimated $350 million into Kenya's economy every single year. Now, this is where it gets really mind-blowing. That $350 million, that's almost 4 times what Kenya makes from its entire coffee export industry. Just let that sink in for a second. The UN's presence is already an economic powerhouse, and with this expansion, that number is set to explode. And it doesn't stop there. We're also talking about a huge construction project. A $340 million investment is going into upgrading the UN campus. That includes a brand new 9,000-seat assembly hall, the first of its kind built outside of New York since way back in 1949. Naturally, all these new people need places to live, to work, to shop, and that's sparking a full-blown real estate boom. In the diplomatic area of Gigiri, demand is just skyrocketing, and it's spilling over into other places too. I mean, look at the Two Rivers Social City development. It's already reporting 98% apartment occupancy, with a massive surge in leases coming directly from UN and embassy folks. But This kind of explosive growth, especially when it's fueled by a flood of well-paid international staff, is a double-edged sword. There's another side to this story, and it's one we absolutely have to talk about. Some observers on the ground, like the YouTuber Austin Holloman, have pointed out that when you have a large group of high-earning expats move into an area, it can cause real friction and make economic inequality even worse if it's not handled right. And really, the core issue we're talking about here is gentrification. It's a complex word for a pretty simple and often painful process. Wealthier people move in, prices for everything go up, and the people who've lived there for years get pushed out. That's the big fear in Nairobi.
And look, this isn't just some academic debate. It's already starting to happen. Rents are climbing fast in neighborhoods like Gajiri and Runda, and that creates a real risk of pushing out middle-income Kenyans, making the gap between the rich and the poor even wider. The concern is that all this new money will just pour into luxury apartments instead of businesses that actually create good jobs for locals. So, after looking at the good, the bad, and the really complicated, what does this global shift actually mean for you? Whether you're a professional hunting for your next big opportunity or just a citizen of the world watching these trends unfold.
Well, for professionals, this is potentially huge news. We're talking about thousands of new jobs being created, and there's going to be massive demand in all kinds of fields, everything from public policy and finance to experts in gender equality, urban planning, IT, logistics, you name it. Which brings us to the big final question, doesn't it? As these global power centers like the UN start to spread out, does diplomacy become more inclusive and more responsive to people's real needs? Or does it just create a whole new mess of coordination challenges? Honestly, what's happening in Nairobi is going to be the great test case for this idea. And you can bet the entire world will be watching to see how it all plays out.